Hello and welcome to the special one-shot extravaganza, which we're doing because there's no, we're still waiting for the best time to play the Undar campaign. But this is going to be the between. It's a fun game that none of us have played before.
That is correct.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so let's see how this goes for us. Now, just so everybody knows us, I think some introductions are in order. I am Alan. I am going to be the keeper of this game. With me are I don't want to say my intrepid heroes because this isn't this show. And I am already a Garden Bean Brennan Lee Mulligan, I think. So let's first introduce ourselves before we go into the game, into the prep work for the first the session 1 as it is. So who wants to start?
Should I start?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm breaking
Somebody
the
throw this
ice as
leaf.
usual. Okay, so hi, I'm Megu. I play as a. Should I say who I play? Okay.
Not yet. We'll be doing that in a moment. Just introduce
Okay,
yourself.
so I am just. I think you already know me from the players. I go by she, they, and my character will be they, them. So in case you were wondering, I am just an egg, I would say, and I'm a freelancer artist, and that's it, I guess. I mean, I'm also very in love with our lovely DM, but that's a side thing. I am embarrassing you on live.
And I have never embarrassed you in our entire life.
No, you never did that.
No, you don't have 2 hours.
Okay, yes, that's it.
All right.
I can go next. Hello, everybody. I'm JT. My pronouns are they, them. When we get down to it, my character's pronouns also they, them. So relatively easy transition there. I will be a player eventually in the Heroes of Undar campaign, but I'm very excited to try this one shot with you guys.
I think we will. I mean, it's a horror setting, but I suspect shenanigans anyways.
They are assumed. Listen, horror and comedy are quite close to each other.
Yes, mostly because comedy is a response from human brain to deal with horror. So
Yeah. So, next, introductions.
I can go. Okay, so I am Ladybug. I am a bit of a digital artist and also a DM on Heroes and Hooligans for 2 campaigns now, which are The Gauntlet and Eyes of Fate. Alan and Megu play Eyes of Fate with me, so that's fun. And I go with pronouns she, her, and so will my character.
Okay.
I am Kohi. He, him,
You're a
as
melon.
well as my character. Yeah, I'm a melon. I am a virtual melon. I wish I would be a real melon, but I'm working towards that. That's a goal. I'm currently here, and I think here about this is where I be a melon.
Do you have a GoFundMe or?
I should help me transition to melon. I don't think there's more to tell about me.
Okay.
We will know more in the future.
Right, guys. Now I'm gonna do stuff from the book. I've mentioned this before. The between is it has a structure that I like, and part of the session 1 is reading bits from the book that I could try to explain them to you, but they are written very, very well.
I so love how you can see the screen in my eyeglass in my glasses.
Yes.
That
This
is
is
true.
why in most movies, like, this is why this look is mostly in anime, because it's better. It's easier to show it
I
in
know.
an anime.
That's better, I think.
Okay, guys, I'm going to do CATS. CATS is an acronym that stands for concept, aim, tone, and subject matter. The purpose of CATS is to establish some basic expectations for what this game is about and what we're going to be doing during this first session. Concept. The Between is a tabletop role-playing game about a group of mysterious monster hunters in Victorian-era London. These hunters learn about various monster threats in the city and conduct investigations or hunts in order to neutralize them. Over time, they become aware of the plans of a criminal mastermind who is pulling the strings behind the scenes. Since this is a one-shot, we will not be doing a mastermind. If this ever goes into a campaign, we will be doing a mastermind there. The hunters will eventually be forced to confront this. The Between is directly inspired by the TV show Penny Dreadful, but also takes inspirations from British horror classics, the works of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Pulp Era Media, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and From Hell. This game's mechanics are based on Apocalypse World and Brindlewood Bay. You don't need to know anything about those games before we play.
Good.
Aim. The aim of the characters is the story. In the story is to keep London safe by investigating monster threats and learning how to stop them. Our aim as players is to learn more about these characters' mysterious pasts, as well as to paint a vivid picture of our version of of Victorian-era London-era Victoria. That would also be cute. A responsibility we all share. The aims for today's session are to create and introduce our characters, learn the basics of how the game works by playing it, and then having a debrief period at the end. Tone. The tone of The Between is dark, mysterious, and sensual. A little bit of levity or humor from time to time is okay, but we will always strive to return to the dark, brooding place the character exists in.
Or at least we will try.
I think... Right. Subject matter. Murder, cannibalism, body horror, dark sexual themes, erotic sensuality, threats to animals and children, foul language, blasphemy, witchcraft, and defiling graves and corpses are all things that come up frequently in this game. We'll talk about safety tools in just a moment, but in the interest of setting expectations right now, you should know that this game deals with dark and intense subject matter. So, how are we feeling so far? Because
Good.
It's good.
Pretty good.
Yes. I
I'm
like
glad.
playing flow. You can throw me into a circus and I will be a clown. I will juggle for you.
Just like we said, horror and comedy are very close. The guy who's doing the best horror movies recently, Jordan Peele, started as a comedy performer and writer. So like all of this very close. I know some of you very close as players, so I know there's going to be shenanigans, and I'm not gonna stop it. I'm just gonna crank up the darkness when it's my turn to shine. Okay, so safety tools. No game is more important than the people playing it. We're going to paint a dark, unsettling portrait of Victorian-era London, but we're going to do it in a way that respects everyone's boundaries of safety and consent. In order to do that, we'll be using 3 safety tools in the between: the open door policy, the X-guard, and lines and veils. The open door policy is very simple. You can leave the game for any reason and you don't have to explain yourself. Just let us know you have to go. No one here will ask any questions about it. And yeah, I'm not gonna change that. I'm not planning on doing anything like too dark that would make you leave, but if something's too much for you, you can always leave. That's fine. The X card. Does anybody know what an X card is?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can we don't have a table to tap the X card. You can just tell me or shoot something in the chat or on Discord. I will stop anything maybe I will ask for some like details, so just so I know not to do it again, but I can just stop. And finally, we'll be using lines and veils. Lines are things that we are not going to have in the game, period. Thus, veils are things that we're okay with being in the game, but we prefer not to roleplay them, or we simply want to keep them off screen. Importantly, even though I earlier listed a number of dark subject matter that come up in the between, you can still include one or more of these things as part of lines and veils. As I said before, no game is more important than the people playing it. I will start by sharing my personal lines and veils right now. You can tell me your own lines and veils privately during a break, and I will then convey them to the group anonymously when we're back. I don't think we'll be doing a break, but we have the tracker. Everybody has the tracker access to it?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. So I will say some stuff because not only because this is what is expected of me, but I also think it's important just in general to talk about it. Homophobia and transphobia is my line, as is racism, as is torture, sexual assault. There is none of this will ever happen on my games. If there's something like important, I know Olga doesn't like spiders, for example.
I'm fine with them as long as they are not real and within 1 meter from me. So you're good.
I'm sorry. I keep repeating the thing about the spiders, but it's like relatively it's an easy thing for others to grasp, for like viewers or something. Like, you don't like spiders, so we don't do spiders. I'm just saying that because it's a good example.
Okay.
Like dental horror, classism, stuff like that. We don't alcoholism. We if there's anything, you can check it in the tracker. You can tell us. It's fine. This is a one shot. It might be a 2-shot, but it's not going to be a long game. So you don't have. I'm not planning on doing anything incredibly like dark and fucked up in this way, because I sincerely believe you can do horror without triggering people. Okay. Now is character creation. Before
Let's
we
maybe give people time to check the things they need to check in that
okay, good point.
in the safety tab.
I'm just
Yeah.
you know what? I'm gonna.
Do you have it, Kohi?
I think I do. 1 second. Yes, there it is.
Okay, so I'm trying to see what we can discuss from it. I'm like surprised. I mean, okay, I'm not surprised there's classism on the list. I'm not surprised it's like a line or veil, but I just haven't thought about it before. There are some things. Okay, I know you guys talked about some stuff, so I'm not sure if any of you want to like take a PC betrayal as interest, because I know you're gonna take some stuff. Okay, I'm the keeper. I'm running the game. I'm not gonna be taking stuff in the interest column. Like, if there's something.
Oh, I'm so interested in bullying. Yeah, great.
Listen, you are very bullyable and you know it.
I meant you, but fine. I am bullying Alan's character on Ladybug's session.
A bit.
Yes.
Everybody is bullying Parker.
He's British. Come on.
He's British and upper class. That's classism. It's not. Okay. All right. Can we move on, or is there anything else?
Oh, you can check if you want romance. Nice.
Yeah.
Which one I am? Which player I am?
Like everybody checks the list basically. Okay. All right. Are we moving on? Is it fine, or do you guys need a moment?
I think I need a minute or two.
Okay.
I am ready whenever.
All right.
I'm also ready.
Wondering. I'm gonna send to our Discord a reference sheet which like moves and stuff. I'll be explaining things like as we move along, and all of this is in the tracker just so we can reference something else if needs be, because it's different from Powered by the Apocalypse game, that there aren't that many moves that are not playbook specific. There's a day move, a night move, an information move, and a vulnerable move. Oh, but most of others are like within the game or on your character sheets, because all of you can do certain stuff, and we're gonna be discussing that in a moment. Okay, Erling?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So, was that a yes? We can move on?
Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right. So, I'm still reading from the book. Before we begin character creation, I want to share a few details about the setting. These characters, the hunters, are the current residents of a place called Hargrave House. Hargrave House is a mansion on Belgrave Square in London. The people who live there share the common goal of defending the city from whatever dark forces are lurking in the shadows, be it monster or murderer. They operate outside official channels, frequently tackling cases that Scotland Yard can't or won't. Importantly, Hargrave House existed long before the characters took up residence there, and previous residents were doing the same work. By the time we joined these characters, they had already been living and working together for a time. We don't dwell on how they came to live at Hargrave House, nor do we care about who owns or funds the place. We may learn about those things in the future, but for now, Hargrave House just is. Another thing to know is that these characters are to remain mysterious. We should avoid talking about their pasts, both in and out of character, unless we are prompted to do so by the game's rules. The reason we do that is because we want to learn about these characters as we play. It's a little bit like watching a good TV show. We don't learn everything about the characters at once. The information is given to us in pieces and dramatically impactful moments in the story, often through flashbacks. With that said, I'm going to give you a quick summary of each playbook so you can decide which one is more interesting to you. We have done this part already because I wanted to make this somewhat faster. So we have within our ranks the undeniable, who are an immortal being of incomparable physical beauty. They have been worshipped as a god for much of their lives, and they walk through the world with an extreme sense of entitlement. Throughout the game, you'll be exploring how they came to be a modern urban god. Playing the undeniable if you want to be extremely powerful, occasionally villainous, and focused on sensory experiences. We also have the Mother, who is a highly talented doctor and scientist. They lost someone they love and are using the heartbreak to fuel their creation. A person crafted from the body parts of other people, given life by experimental alchemical processes. Throughout the game, you will be exploring their past with the person they lost and why they were driven to create a new form of life. Play the Mother if you want to use science and medicine to solve problems, or if you want to delight in blood and guts, which is
Or
a
a
very
little bit of both.
we are also using from season 2 because all the supplements to the Between are called seasons, and I adore that. We are using the Unquiet. This character is the ghost of a hunter who lived in Hargrave house many decades ago. They were betrayed by one of their contemporaries and are now hunting Hargrave house until they can destroy the descendant of one who betrayed them. They will help the current residents of Hargrave house until they are able to exact their revenge. And last, we have the Factotum. Is a servant of one of the other hunters. They are highly skilled operator, resourceful, and practical. When the other hunters are mired in darkness, the Factotum is busy getting the job done. Throughout the game, you'll explore their professional past and how they came to be a servant. Play the Factotum if you want to be highly effective, or if you want to explore what it's like to have your personal goals and dignity subsumed by another's. I'm honestly, if I were to play, I would play the American, who is
A werewolf.
a cowboy, but also a werewolf, which is
Of course you would.
my aesthetic somewhat. I've asked you to pick before we join the stream because this part is like 15 minutes. So I've asked you to pick a name, pick elements for the character look, pick a vice, add 1 to one of your static ability scores. It says to mark 2 Dawn questions. We won't be doing a lot of Dawn questions because this is for the longer campaign and for experience, and we won't be tracking experience during our one-shot. If required to, you also choose an additional move. Not every one of you does that. So, I'm moving to another step. Now that all of you made your characters, let's introduce them. Going around the table, everyone please introduce your character by name, look, and vice. You can also tell us what your playbook moves do. I remind you that you should avoid sharing any details about your character's backstory at this time. So this is the part when you guys can start talking. And let's start with, I'm gonna just go, when I say around the table, it's how it shows on my screen. So the next person is Dr. Alice Sweindrak, the Mother.
Yes. So I'm playing Dr. Alice Sweindrak, the Mother. And as far as information on her, let's see. So as far as the look, it's pale skin, rimless eyeglasses with tortoise shell detail, and clean and unadorned hands, with her vice being cigarettes.
Cigarettes, okay.
Yes, gives me excuse to smoke on screen.
Smart.
Part of cosplay. I also have a knife.
Knife is great.
And
I'm just being reminded. Because like only name. Did you say your look? Sorry. Because
yes.
I'm being reminded I'm a terrible keeper and a terrible partner because I told
Yes.
Ned that we'll be doing this part, and I'm just kidding because not everybody picked their look and their name and their vice. So we can just keep going because I think JT has all this stuff, and when we go to Nem's character, we can just do this live, or we can do this live first. What would you prefer?
I mean, I'm fine with whatever. I don't know. Don't make me pick.
Okay, so JT, tell us about your character. Please.
Hello. I'm playing Hector Drake, the Unquiet. Their look is they wear a black cape with a gold brocaded trim. They have a ghastly chest wound, and they wear a dusty pink waistcoat and breeches. Their vice is walking through living things.
Delightful. All right. Nem.
Okay, so my character is called Aranea. And I think wait. They what?
We've discussed it when you were picking this playbook that you want them to have like lavish dinners.
Yes.
So the vice would be extravagant spending.
Yes.
Also, you don't have to pick the look from the playbook. You can just tell us how they look like. This is just to make things easier.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I kind of dress like Arana, usually wearing some kind of roughly white shirts, long black skirts, jewelry, and basically they kind of try to blend in with everyone else. Maybe they change the appearance for the parties, but overall they kind of try to not stand out too much, but I guess because of the beauty they still stand out in a way.
Okay. And Kohi. So
yeah,
sorry,
I play.
I'm just used to another nickname for you.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a low-key transition between names.
That's great.
I play the character Willoughby, the Factotum. I am the servant of the humble servant of the mother. My character always wears a black suit with a gray shirt. I have a gray striped shirt because I didn't have something else, but I tried to cosplay a little. Usually he has a black umbrella with him. I have no idea where my black umbrella went. It's just gone. So I don't have a black umbrella today.
I mean, it's bad luck to open it inside, I guess.
That's also true.
Okay.
Yeah, my vice is history books.
You're gonna have a lot of fun in the Hargrave house about that. Okay, so name, look, and vice. Now it's part that they do like. And now we're going to go around again, and I'm going to read aloud the color text at the top of your playbooks. After I read the color text, the rest of you are going to name one object or piece of equipment we think your hunter would have in their bedroom at Hargrave House based on what we know about them so far. You can veto an idea you don't like or ask for revisions, and you'll write down each item in the personal quarters section of your playbook. All of you have the personal quarters section in the tracker, and what it does is that during play you can mark any item from your personal quarters to give yourself an advantage if it makes sense. But the items can be, it doesn't have to be like 16 feet of rope. It can be something more macabre or more metaphorical, for example. So let's start again with the mother. Also, the text in the book says that the player should read this stuff, but I have more. Sorry, I have more ready access to your playbooks and your texts, and also I saw the creator do that when do the part when they read those parts. So I'm gonna just steal that part. So, the mother. If you understand the mysteries of human anatomy like you do, you are one of the most brilliant medical minds in London and could take your place as a lecturer at any number of esteemed academies. But you have different ideas, different plans. You are no longer interested in merely preserving life, but creating it. And so you'll do what you must to survive. Tending to the prostitutes dying of consumption, assisting Scotland Yard with grisly forensic inquiry, and creeping about in the night with these new people, these hunters with whom you share a home. But always you are focused on the on the new life growing in your secret womb, your child, the one you hope will capture even the faintest reflection of the person you loved and lost. And I'm also going to give you items, just so you have more ideas. And I'm gonna say that Dr. Alice Sweindrak has an unopened love letter, if in quarters. And now, JT, Nam, sorry, Kohi, I need to have stuff written. I'm bad at this. You propose your items, and then we'll do that with every other person.
Oh, so we just try to came up with an item for...
Yeah, for other characters, not you.
Okay. Yes. So do we do this as a group or individually? We give an item each?
Each one of you gives one item.
Okay.
Okay, JT, any ideas?
Well, maybe like a sort of a superstitious, like a lucky scalpel of some kind, something like that.
Okay, Maki scalpel. Ma'am?
I was also thinking about the scalpel, so maybe
I could use a real one. I can tell you that.
Maybe some kind of an apron, like a sturdy one made from like leather.
Okay, a sturdy apron, that's fine. And Kohi?
Well, I would probably pick the first aid kit.
Thank you.
Because
listen,
that's like
you don't listen, you can think more gothic horror stuff. But okay,
yeah,
I'm not gonna like
even in
medicine
Gothic
back maybe
games, they
because
have,
it's the Victorian age, so there wouldn't be like a first aid kit, but a medicine bag.
Yeah, a kind of medicine bag with like bandages,
Snake oil.
probably snake oil, some kind of oil, healing crystal.
Delicious.
Okay, you're gonna get
Good. At least I will have something other there to chomp people with, except for the knife, right?
Yes.
Listen.
Otherwise, I'm taking kitchen knives.
You have access to anything your character would logically have. We don't have to add a scalpel to your private quarters for you to have access to a scalpel.
Good.
The assumption is that since you're a doctor, you would have access to this stuff anyway, and this comes for every one of you. We're not gonna track money or track rope or anything. You just, if it's something mundane, you have access to it. That's why I'm gonna be proposing non-mundane stuff. Okay, that's stuff for the mother. And now the unquiet. You were a resident of Hargrave House many decades ago, but now, ghosty ghost, you're dead. In fact, you met an untimely end as the result of a betrayal by one of your contemporaries. The arrival of the traitor's descendant in London has awakened your restless spirit and anchored you to Hargrave House, which you'll haunt until you can exact your revenge by destroying said descendant. In the meantime, you find yourself drawn yet again to the dark work done by Hargrave House, and these new hunters could certainly use your help. You might even be able to summon the energy needed to temporarily slip your spectral bonds and stalk the streets of London once again. And technically, this playbook should be available to us after a certain threat is resolved, but this is a one-shot, and also I'm being naughty. So this is why JT has access, can be the ghosty ghost.
I like being a ghost.
Well, I can promise
what
you.
can
they
you give
are
a ghost?
Yeah.
Can you like hold stuff?
Sometimes. One of the moves
Well.
the Unquiet has is creating a body for themselves after the sun sets.
Okay.
During the day, the Unquiet is stuck in Hargrave House, but you are still going to have scenes.
Mhm.
Okay. Honestly, I'm still thinking what you can have. We don't need to like go in order. If any of you have ideas, I'm thinking Christmas. Sorry, tale. What's the Dickens?
Carol.
Thinking
Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol. Yeah, you can have manacles forged from your sins.
Manacles. Okay.
Okay, any ideas?
I'm thinking. It's usually an
I'm gonna be cruel.
Yeah.
He has books. Books he loves. And can't read because he's not material. So he has all his favorite books.
There was a Twilight Zone episode about that. Okay, name is checking for the cat. And so, Kohi.
I'm thinking.
Ideas.
I'm even thinking about like what do ghosts even drop in RPG games? It's usually just gold.
Don't think games. Think like Gothic
Yeah,
tales or movies.
What about a pet? Like a mouse
Oh.
or something.
Maybe a cat.
Or a cat.
Cats.
But
Cat,
I
okay.
think that a mouse would kind of make more sense to be like in ghost form itself if it was hiding like somewhere in a pocket where he got killed at.
But also, cats are magic. I mean, it's
Also.
yours. If you want it to be a mouse, it can be a mouse.
I would
Sorry.
give him a mouse. Unless, of course, JT doesn't like mice.
I'm good with whatever.
Then it's gonna be
Okay.
a mouse. A cute little mouse.
Okay.
Am I the last one?
Yes.
Yep.
Wait, what did you give besides a mouse?
Books. His favorite books.
Yeah.
Okay, so what a ghost could use?
Like This is kind of difficult.
I mean, like,
Listen, this
You know me.
like
no, this
maybe
is great.
maybe some sort of a disguise when they make a body for the night. So
No, the point of they when they make a body, they cannot look like somebody from this day and age.
no,
They are
I
looking.
mean just ape or something, or they cannot wear that.
You're all thinking too physical when it comes to this stuff.
I mean, I know. Listen, I
But
never hunted a ghost.
You know what?
Mm.
If you want to give JT a disguise, it can be a disguise.
I mean, it can also be slippers for home.
I mean, why
I don't
not?
know.
Hector is going to be spending most of the day at home.
Yeah, so like comfy slippers, like jammies. I don't know. Jammies of revenge, something like this.
Jammies. Okay, you can.
Pajamas.
Okay. Now we have the undeniable. Okay.
That's me.
Yes. So, the undeniable. You've always been the most beautiful person in the room. Your looks have opened doors for you as long as you can remember. All the money and material things anyone could want laid at your feet. Artists have found inspiration in the brightness of your eyes, the delicate curve of your cheekbones, the plump softness of your lips. One such artistic work, a masterwork, rises above them all, for it captures the essence of you. It is, quite simply, more you than you. Lately, people sacrifice everything to be near you, to please you, and, if they're lucky, to touch you. But what to do when you get bored with being one of the gods? And I'm going to say that you have in your private quarters a shriveled heart of your admirer, of
Okay.
an admirer.
So we went dark.
Where do I write this?
On
Down.
your tracker, you have personal quarters.
Okay.
Yeah, at the very bottom of it.
Wait. Can you write this for me?
Yeah, I'm gonna. We are going dark. Okay. Dr. Alice, what do you think the undeniable has? in
I
their
have an
quarters?
idea that
Yeah.
they might have in their quarters a mirror, like a circus mirror. One of those that don't show the actual reflection,
Oh.
just a disproportionate one.
Oh, I love it. This is great. JT?
I just look like a noodle.
Well, I was gonna do a mirror, but a different kind of mirror. But let's see.
Maybe we can all give them mirrors. Why not?
A whole room of fucking mirrors.
Just walking around with a backpack full of just handheld mirrors. You need one?
Well, here's a question. If we're talking like sort of like a gothic, like mystical type deal, would something like an unburning or a unmelting candle work, like a gift from someone?
I'm gonna say yes because it's a one shot and we can do whatever we want.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
that's
right,
true.
fair enough.
But whatever it is, you can. I think we'll do it so you can use it once doing this one shot, whatever you use.
Mm.
I think there are ways to like recover this stuff, and I'm gonna read up on it later if there's a need. So an unmelting candle.
Mm-hmm.
works.
Did you write your own?
Yeah, I did. It was the first one.
I don't see it. It's gray for me.
Somehow,
Okay.
yeah, somehow it disappeared. And Kohi, what do you think the undeniable Aranea has
It's a good
in their
question.
quarters?
Character, a beautiful lady who has all the
Person.
beauty to open everything.
What I don't have.
Yeah, it's
A
question
pizza,
of what.
because we are in Victorian era.
I'm kind of thinking about like a switchblade.
Switchblade.
Okay.
Yeah, because a woman gotta defend herself, or a lady in that matter.
Honestly, that might be fun. Okay, the switchblade.
Listen, I won't lie. I probably, maybe, I don't
Probably
know.
don't need to have. You probably don't need to do violence yourself.
But I can,
You have
and I
people for that.
probably did.
I mean,
Okay,
if the
You don't
guy
know.
doesn't have a blade, it's just like, yeah, I would kill for you, and then you just pull it out, and here you go, do it. Here's a switchblade.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I like check them and then uncheck them when I use them or something?
No, you check them when you use them.
Okay.
When they are used, you check them.
Okay.
Okay, and we have Willoughby. The factotum. You had a life before you entered the service of your employer, but the details of that life are unimportant. All that matters now is the person you serve, and Hargrave House, where you will grow ancient and die if you're lucky. More likely, your employer's colleagues, these hunters, will be the end of you, overturning things that should remain hidden and goading on terrors that dwell in dark places. You'll do your best to help them, of course, to keep them alive, because without them, who are you, really? Okay. So, what could Willoughby have in his personal quarters?
A shovel.
Shovel. You are thinking about yourself and only yourself, and that's exactly the kind of thinking you need.
He is my servant. He needs a shovel.
You have a shovel.
I have a shovel.
Yep. I'm thinking what else. Okay, you have a pistol with a silver bullet in it.
Just
That's
a single
for
one?
me. Just one bullet.
Okay.
Don't get greedy.
And the item B. How big can the item be?
It needs to be. What were you thinking about?
I have an issue.
It
I
needs
don't
to fit
remember.
in a room.
Okay,
Yeah,
then no.
because there are. I mean, Willow. Every one of you has like comfortable quarters. Willowbees are like servants' quarters, but he still have space for all the stuff.
Maybe a bike or something.
Yeah, okay, bike.
Needs to be in places fast. I wanted to give him like a how do you call that? Like a bigger vehicle, like not a car, but
A bus, a van.
No.
Victorian England carriage at best.
Yes, a carriage.
Yeah.
But I was like, it doesn't fit. I mean, it could
Me-
potentially
oh,
fit if the door is
honestly,
big, but
the like usually in stories like that you just call a handsome cab and you're driven somewhere. Like money is no object in this game. You are funded. So a bike makes sense. Okay. Who else have another stuff?
I haven't said
Okay.
anything for his stuff yet. But I was thinking maybe a photograph of his family from before.
That's great.
and sad.
And the distraction.
I said that. Okay, guys. I think that's all of the
Nobody
stuff.
said I'm nice.
You're not supposed to be
I mean,
nice.
listen.
I'm all about taking people apart to make somebody else. So
I think Kohi might be probably the nicest. The rest of us
the
is
outside.
like questionable at best.
I mean, I'm the only one with a firearm between us, so
I mean, but you're just a person.
I'm just a servant.
You're just a dude.
I would
Shama, do you want
honestly, I would also pick the fact of or the American. Trying to
the appearance of a kitty? Hello? Hi.
Sharma!
That's our
Do
sixth
you want to be
character.
Do you want to be known as always? This is my Victorian cat. Yes.
It's a part of the
Yes.
cosplay.
Yes.
Okay, guys. Everybody, we have everybody who has items. Everybody pick their move. You don't have to explain your moves. You just need to remember that you have them if you're like in trouble or something, or you have to like do anything. So after that, there would be a break, but we're not gonna do a break because one shot, and we are still going for an hour so far. And I'm gonna. Okay, this makes sense. Before we begin, let me tell you some new lines and veils because you've marked some stuff. Dental horror is a line, homophobia and transphobia is a line, racism, sexual assault and violence, slurs, and torture are a line. And we have veils for eye injuries, harm to pet or domestic animals, harm to wild animals, sexism, and suicide. Also, I want to tell you that even though this is a game set in a historical time period, we aren't going to dwell on historical accuracy. We'll do our best to represent the technology and culture of the era, but we're going to get some things wrong every now and then, and that's okay. I also like to point out that during this time period, people with marginalized identities would likely have been treated very poorly in society, and we're going to ignore that part of history in the world of the between. Things like race, nationality, gender, ethnicity, sexuality, disability, and neurodivergence are not a social barrier. And that's a part of the Between book, and that's the Heroes and Hooligans ethos too, so that's nice. And now I'm going to be presenting the threat. Hargrave House is an old Gothic revival-style building. It stands out from its neighbors on Belgrave Square, which are done in the more conventional classical style. Hargrave House is also different because it's not just a residence, but a place of work. Dark work. And some more of that dark work has just landed on the doorstep. And we're going to be starting a threat called the Creature of Cremon Gardens. The The ever-reliable rag, the Illustrated Police News, has lately been carrying stories about the so-called creature of Cremon Gardens, sometimes called the creature of Chelsea Harbour, and more rarely the creature of Chainwalk. The creature, described as a fish-like thing or a fishman, has been terrorizing pleasure seekers from the shadows, giving a fright when glimpsed skulking about, but rarely making direct contact. Men and women alike have been lured to the end of a nearby pier by a strange song while promenading, though with no memory of how they got there once the song's spell ended. All of this could easily be chalked up to hysteria, or perhaps some elaborate hoax by someone who resents Cremon Gardens, if not for a physical attack upon a young couple, Simon Piedmont and Belula Thrum. Mr. Piedmont and Mrs. Thrum described how the creature leaped at them from a crouched position like a cat and tore at Miss Thrum's coat. Scotland Yard is investigating. And each threads have a question that I direct at one of you. And since this is about somebody who worked at this place for Watsaba, I'm going to be directing this at Willoughby because he's the only one that makes sense. You have a connection to Thomas Simpson, the proprietor of Cremon Gardens, having worked there one summer. What was your job, and what did you do to lose it?
I need to improvise now, right?
Big thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer right this moment. We can wait for a bit.
I mean,
Yeah, I
you
need to
said
do
it.
something.
You said it's like.
Okay, guys. I have some characters. I have some. The game works like this: you go up, you make investigations, you ask questions, you gather clues. I'm going to be providing these clues for you, and there's a move called answer a question. This move works like this: when you gather clues that are half, a number of clues that is half the complexity of a question, you roll. And if it's true or not depends on how well you roll. The complexity of the first question is 4, so you need to gather at least 2 clues to try to attempt to answer the question. And I'm going to share the first question with you. It is quite simply, is the creature real or is it a hoax? And answering this question is going to unlock another question depending on how you answer that.
Okay.
Also, there's a mechanic I'm not explaining, but it's called a Janus mask, and it will come into play when you roll badly. Basically, it's a mechanic that allows you to up your roll from like a miss to a half success or to a full success, but it will require you to do something later. You have your on your character sheets, you have masks of the past and the present. Your mask of the past has to be unlocked in order. Your mask of the future, mask of the past and future. Mask of the future can be marked at any part. And there is also a mask feature connected with this thread. It's called Mask of Revelry. And I'm not going to be explaining this for you unless somebody will mark it.
Okay.
Okay, so we start in the day phase. We have phases. It starts with the keeper presents a new threat. That's me. That's what I did, and then you have regular scenes. And I'm not going to force you to have more scenes than you want, but this is your time basically. Night is my time. Day is yours. So whatever you want to do, you can go to the Cremon Gardens. You can try to investigate the threat, or you can do anything else you wish to do. Let me just no. So, which one of you would like to start?
I think I can start.
What do you want to do?
I think I would like to just go and check the place where it happened.
I mean, this is like a whole. I mean, it is a whole garden. There are a few locations in there.
I can go with you.
You can go together. Sure.
Sure.
Like when I was watching how the creator was running the game, basically he's done it so there are like 2 scenes per character. You can have scenes together, and also we will do personal scenes if you want them. This is all right. So Alana and Dr. Sweindrak, you are going to the gardens. There are a few places.
I mean, I would assume if I'm going to the gardens, somebody else is also going with me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Willoughby will follow.
Willoughby could be running some errands for you if you wish.
Oh no, not during the day, no.
All right.
Graveyards are way better to go around in the night.
All right. So the first thing that comes into your view is the promenade. It's full of well-manicured lawns, neatly ordered flower beds, and ancient trees. This is the first thing that approaches you, and this is another mechanic that the Between has, which is called Paint the Scene, where everybody names one thing that answers a question. And this question is, you see something truly beautiful along the promenade. What is it?
I mean, there are nada.
I wanted to say my reflection in the water, but
No, work with me here, guys.
You said
Family
it's a
of
garden, right? Oh, a family. That's truly something I think all of us lacks.
We are a family.
I guess, in a way. I think I see a flower I never saw before. Like, I've lived very long and I never seen a flower like this. And it really stands out from every other flower.
When you try to find it again, it's gone. But it is there. You saw it, you remember it. Willoughby, what do you see?
Some rabbits.
Rabbits. Okay. And this question is still, I know the unquiet, cannot leave the Hargrave house during the day, but you still answer the question because you are part of the game. What is so beautiful on the promenade?
Well, the sun shining down on the promenade, the way the sun hits the gardens.
Okay. So it's a beautiful day in a beautiful place. What do you want to do?
So what? Everyone go on a different way to cover as much ground as possible?
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Agreed.
Do we have like, is it like very big, or we don't have like
it's
any kind of map? Like it's more like a zoo that you need a map to go
I'm
around, or
gonna name the locations that are in the gardens. There's a dancing platform. There's the American bowling saloon, the banqueting hall, the hedge maze, and chain walk, which is a street
okay.
along the harbor. There is a harbor nearby. You are in a garden, but it's close to the water still.
I think I would like to go to the harbor.
Okay. I mean,
I will go to the maze.
the maze. All of these, and I'm assuming Willoughby is accompanying you.
No, Willoughby goes his own way.
Okay.
Then I will check the dance floor.
All right.
Gonna dance.
It's during the day, so I don't think the dancing platform is occupied at the moment. But I'm gonna say you meet someone there, and I'm still thinking, who could that be? Actually, you see a rather young boy just kind of moving around without much coordination or seeming plan. He has some face paint on it. It seems to be some sort of like mystical markings or symbols, but you cannot tell if they are real or like somebody tries to aim at an aesthetic. He has on his forehead a jewel, like a smoky quartz kind of thing. And he just moves around. You've worked at this place, but I don't think you've seen him before.
And I remember a kid like this.
Definitely.
Yeah. Just, I think he notices
him.
you. He looks at you
I
and
was about to say. I was about to say that I'm just gonna observe him for now.
yeah, he's observing you. He looks at you. He closes his eyes and he moves his head as if he's still watching you with the crystal, with the stone on his forehead. And he, with closed eyes, just walks up to you. Hello.
Certainly. Hello.
Are you lost? Are you looking for something, someone?
I am looking for some clues towards a creature that was spotted nearby,
Ah, yes.
attacking passerbys.
Yes, the creature. You know, I see things, and he opens his eyes, looks you, doesn't look like at you, he looks like past you. Yes, I see a lot of things and feel many things. I would try to help you, but there's just a lot. There's so much. And you know what? I'm gonna say that this is going to be a move from you because you're trying to gather information. Are you trying to talk to him?
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Mm,
Because all right, let me think. Because so you would roll, and I'm wondering what you should roll. Okay, roll with sensitivity.
can somebody roll for me? I don't have any dice.
Yes, I can roll. How many dice?
2.
Or Alan, you can do it. Okay.
I don't have 2d6s, so you do.
It's okay. I got 4, so I had how much you have for
No,
the or no
that's a miss.
sensitivity? Oh, okay.
I mean, you could, like I said, you could mark the mask and up it up to like a complication. But with 4, you're not gonna get any clues from that. He's just
But
gonna
doesn't
start.
he add something for the sensitivity or no?
The Factom has 0 sensitivity.
Okay. I
I'm not very
also.
sensitive.
And even if 6 and below is a miss, 7,
Okay.
8, 9 are partial stuff, and 10 is a hit.
Okay. Good to know.
Sorry, I did not mention that. I apologize.
So I'm not getting any info from this little crystal child.
Just creeps.
Unless you want to mark, but the
No, I'm
gems
gonna
will-
save this for now.
Okay. Dobra. Sorry.
Alan, don't convert back to Polish.
Suddenly Polish.
Yeah, sorry. There's a lot of stuff I need to keep in mind and keep track of. Okay, so that was Willoughby. Where did Dr. Sweindrak?
I went to the maze.
The maze. Let me paint a scene for the maze. It's towering hedges that seem to block you off from the outside world. Stone benches and fountains, and the occasional animal. And the paint-the-sea question is, unbeknownst to people entering it the first time, the hedge maze is designed to scare patrons. What frightening display do you see when you turn a corner?
Frightening, you see. You say.
Yes, it's frightening.
To me or generally?
Generally.
Generally, I would say there might be a gigantic spider web with a spider on it.
That's nice.
Classy.
I know. I mean, truth be told, me as a player, I would run away from that place so fast.
Okay. And any other ideas? I mean, it's something that everybody should add to, but I don't want to bog us down with details. So if there are no more ideas, So do you have a plan for the maze, or
I'll walk around, see if I see anything or something.
okay? Well, it's I'm gonna say this is pretty early in the day, and you see there aren't much people at this time of hour, and also it is a maze, so it's kind of if somebody doesn't want to be seen, you're not gonna see them.
True.
But
I'm gonna look around anyway.
yeah, I'm gonna say there's a bench hidden like inside the greenery, and there's a man in a tweed jacket smoking a pipe. He has a spotless twin coat and a tidy mustache. He seemed to be...
Does any part of him look interesting enough?
The
5 minutes in,
mustache.
first murder.
Wondering... because... He has beautiful eyes.
Oh,
I think he notices you not noticing his eyes, and he tips his hat to you.
hello there. Did anyone tell you you have wonderful eyes?
Madam, I would not presume. He's... well, thank you. I guess this is what I would answer to that. He gets up, he takes off his hat, and he introduces himself. Yes, hello. Detective Inspector Pettigrew. It's nice to make your acquaintance.
Dr. Alice Sweindrak, nice to meet you too.
Oh, what brings you today?
Just looking around. There were some nasty rumors about some terrible, I believe, beast running around or something like that.
Please, the details are what matters here. Anyone with half a brain can tell you the idea of a fishman is complete nonsense. It has to be a hoax. We have investigated the case, and well, fishmen aren't real, so what is there to find?
Right, of course, of course. I'm going to be staring at his eyes all the time, basically.
Okay, if you're going to do this, roll with presence.
Presents, you say?
Yep.
Presents. Do I have presents?
Because
I have 0. How do I roll this?
I want to check. You're basically rolling if he's gonna be like skived out by you.
Oh, then what I'm going to say to him next is gonna skip him out definitely. I don't know if the roll is absolutely necessary in this situation.
Okay.
Because my next words would be, and tell me please, how attached are you to those eyes?
Oh, actually, I don't need to make a roll here. He's going to narrow his beautiful, beautiful eyes, look at you. Oh, you live at Hargrave house.
I might.
He's he doesn't. You see that he becomes guarded at this point, not because
Do you wonder why?
I would appreciate if amateurs wouldn't stick their noses into business of professionals, especially since people are already in kind of a frenzy here. We don't want people believing the hoax even more, wouldn't you say?
Oh, of course. No worries, I'm just looking to find some parts for a personal project.
Part, you say?
Yes.
Well, this is a garden. You wouldn't find any.
You'd be
Wouldn't you rather
surprised
go
where
to a
one can...
workshop or something?
You would be surprised where one can find suitable parts.
He's doing the thing that the British people do, and he harums. And good day to you, madam. And he leaves.
Good day.
I'm gonna. Actually, he's going to turn around and he's gonna say, "Well, madam, I would really prefer you if you didn't look for parts in this place. It's a very Well, it is a dangerous sort of place. There has been numerous reports of drunk and disorderly behavior here, and I would rather not visit the Hargrave house with information of your untimely demise.
Oh, don't worry, I can definitely defend myself.
Indeed. And now he leaves. And for this scene, I'm gonna, and because I want to move things along, I am going to provide you with a clue, which is numerous reports of drunk and disorderly behavior.
Yes.
And Arana, what do you do?
I think I'm trying to look. I mean, it's like close to water, right?
There's the chain walk is a street along the harbor, and it's close to the gardens itself. So like you're leaving the gardens and you're going around there.
Because it's like a fishman, right? So I would assume it would be something around here, any kind of clue. So I guess I'm basically trying to.
Okay. So the chain walk is, like I said, it's street along the harbor. You smell roasting coffee beans. You hear the whistle of a steamer ships in the distance. You see people like young lovers giggling to each other. It's rather picturesque. And
So many parts, so little time.
paint the scene. This street will become the center of an artistic movement in London in a few short years. What do you see right now that hints at this future?
I think I see some street performers. Like there's somebody playing on a violin, and like a few steps later, there's somebody trying to like get a bag for doing like some kind of sketches of the lovers that visit this place. So basically, just like it's starting to be a place where like artists who wants to get some cash for food.
And actually, if nobody wants to add to the scene, you see an man, a painter, who like he's facing the gardens and he's painting the gardens, but he's standing on the street. He has curly hair. He's handsome in a rakish way. He looks like a bit of a rogue. And I'm gonna say that he looks at you and he stops. And he just looks at you.
God.
It's
Again.
not an unfamiliar situation for you.
Definitely not.
Here we go, distracting poor people.
How can I help you, mister?
Well, madam, and you hear that he has an American accent. Well, I would be so very pleased if you would be a model for me for next, shall we say, 12 portraits? And he just smiles.
I'm fetching a pocket watch from from my pocket of my skirt, and I'm just like looking at time, and I'm just like, I don't think I have time for 12 portraits today.
He gets like a sketchbook, and he's like picks up a piece of coal and like starts sketching you very quickly. Well, what brings you here to this? Well, what brings you here? I guess. Please answer in
How can
as
I
much
say this?
detail as you possibly can. Try not to move, but I would not, unless you're going my way.
I'm trying to gather information about the fishmen.
Oh, terribly
Have you
exciting.
heard about this? Maybe you've seen them. Have you sketched them, maybe? Was it exciting?
Okay, you roll. I'm gonna say that this is an information move and roll with presence, I think.
Okay,
You're
so
trying
I roll like 2.
roll 2d6.
Okay, so it's 7 and I add 2, so 9.
9. Okay, so that's a mixed success. There's going to be a complication, and the complication is going to be that you're going to get an admirer from this.
That's fine.
He looks at you. You have seen this before in people, men, this look of like desire mixed with longing and the need for you. And he's just starts spewing things. So yes, my name is James Whistler, by the way, and well, of course, I have a lot of interesting information. Actually, and he reaches to his coat, and he picks out a large, flawless pearl. I have found it near the harbor just the other day, and well, its beauty pales in comparison to you.
Yes,
And
definitely.
I would hope that this is something that I would think that this is something connected in some way to this Richmond, and I would love you to have. I would be. It would be great if you would have it.
Yes, I appreciate this, and you see Arana like reach into their pocket again, and they take out a handkerchief and grab the pearl this way,
Without
and like yes, and just basically wraps it around and hides it.
Perfect. Okay, I'm trying to see because I'm looking at your. This is interesting.
I don't know if I clicked stuff good because the instructions were unclear
And clicked what?
on my sheet.
No. You. I'm trying to be because I would like to give you a condition, which would be marked by James Whistler. I just don't see this on the tracker. I'm not sure. Maybe. Oh yeah, here they are. I'm gonna give you a condition marked by James. You have an admirer.
Okay.
Okay, and I think so. Like, you have 2 clues already. I'm not sure. And we're going to go back into the Hargrave house. And I have a question for Hector. You know this. You know the situation as much as everybody else. You, as I understand it, you can still you are anchored to the Hargrave house.
Yes.
So tell me, you can converse with people. Tell me how they can communicate with you.
If I want to talk to someone, I can simply stand in front of a mirror that they happen to be passing by, and my reflection can communicate with them.
Okay. And I'm trying. I'm looking at your move because you have 2 moves. You start with 2 moves. That's the
Mhm.
Phantom. You are a reflection in a mirror.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. You could mark your energy track. You have 4 points for now. You can mark 1 point of it to just do something around the house, if you'd like to. And the house is fully furnished with like a library and other important elements. This is also part of the painting the scene when we talk about the house itself.
Mhm.
I would say there's a lot of mirrors because definitely it's very
Well,
in fashion.
yeah, there is a lot of mirrors. This is interesting. You can tell me about this because
Mhm.
and I'm asking everybody, but mainly Hector. How long have you been around at the Hargrave house as a ghost?
As a ghost, I want to say probably around half a century, 50 years.
Okay. So when most of you arrived at the house, the mirrors were already installed. Like there was a process of making Hector more comfortable and more useful, basically, to the house.
Hmm.
So if you want to like have a scene with somebody else, you can also tell us. We are not bound to the fact that they've just been at the gardens for a day scene.
Right. Um, I mean, since Hector can't really leave without expending too much energy, and it's just
Cannot leave during the day at all.
yes, they would probably either find one of them and have them get to the library so that they can pick out some books for Hector to sort of ghost flip through to see if we have anything on a creature matching this descriptor, so that we might be able to identify
Okay.
what it is.
Who would you ask for help?
Probably the doctor.
Right. So, Dr. Sweindrak,
Yes.
are you helping Hector with that?
Sure, why not?
Okay, tell me how it looks. Talk amongst yourselves.
So,
Entertain us.
what would you like?
Just looking for any books that might match the descriptor of the creature that we're going for. Any books on oceanic beasts, journals from previous hunters. I know we've got some lying around somewhere, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, of course. I believe most of them will be in the library in the house, because that's where they kept most of the books. Only the medical ones I moved to my quarters, because books. So yes, follow me. I will show you which books might be the most interesting.
Good. Good.
Okay.
And I will even leave them open.
That's very kind of you.
This time.
Flipping pages shouldn't be an issue for you, I believe.
We expend a little bit of energy, but it should otherwise be fine.
Easier than opening the book, right?
Yes.
So yes, I will go to the library with our dear ghost and show him all the books I know might be of help.
Okay. So, I'm gonna say this is going to be the information move because you are literally conducting research.
Yep.
So, roll 2d6 with reason, I think. That
Me
makes
or
the
the
most-
ghost?
The ghost, Hector,
Okay.
because that's. I think
Zero
you
reason.
seem to be more like amused by this situation. I'm not sure if you're helping.
I am. He's
Okay.
doing something that's useful.
Okay. Then Hector, roll with advantage, which means you roll 3d6 and pick the two
Yeah.
highest.
Cool. That's 5 and 2 ones, so 6 total.
Okay, so that would mean you also you could still you could mark a Janus mask if you'd wish, which would bring it up to 7 or 9, which would give you a clue, but there would be a complication. Right now you have 2 clues.
Do we have a certain number of clues that we're shooting for? I didn't catch that.
Basically, right now you when you roll to answer a question, you sorry. The complexity is subtracted for the roll, but you add the number of clues. So right now you can answer the question, but you would be rolling with -2 because you have 2 clues.
Okay. And a 6 isn't going to get us there, is it? No.
No, like you could, if you were to mark a mask of a Janus mask, either mask of the past or mask of the future, or you could mark the mask of Revelry, which is part of the threat.
I
All of those require you to narrate stuff. This is
Right.
the storytelling part of the game, basically.
Right. So I could mark a mask of the past and bring it up to a 7 and
Yeah.
narrate I guess for me it would be narrate a flashback to when I was alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll mark a mask of the past for that.
Okay. I'm gonna say that that's also the part of the mask. First, I narrate that what happened, where the bad result, and then we went back. But the bad result in this situation will be that you just didn't find anything. So instead, what happens is that there's a light breeze of wind, you're not sure from where, and it just flips a few pages that straight in front of your eyes, in front of your mirror rather, and you can see that there is I'm gonna check if there's something I can add, or should I invent a clue for you. Actually, let me check a world, and I'll be with you in a moment.
Okay, you good?
Okay. You see. Oh, that's actually something that is a part of the clue list. The breeze closes a book, and right beneath it, you see a book of sailor's hymns.
Okay.
But you. It has been a long time since you've been on the sea, since you've been on a ship. But when you look at this book, there's a memory of hearing sailors sing, a memory of salty water, a memory of wind in your face, and it's kind of overpowering. And I'm gonna give you a condition, Call of the Sea. That's how we're gonna call it.
Okay.
Okay, you have 3 clues right now. Do you have any more scenes you would like to do during the day? Because if not, we're going to move to the night. I mean, first, dusk. Okay, it seems like...
I mean, was that like a question for everyone or?
Yes, it's a question for everyone.
Oh, I think I would like to just discuss with everyone
Sure.
what we found, since
I mean,
we are.
the assumption is that since we are all listening to the scenes, you share the information. Unless
Okay.
you want to tell us. I mean, I'm guessing all of you know that. Oh, that's also a question. How open about getting parts is Dr. Sweindrak?
Well, I'm living with these people in one house and conducting most of my experiments here. And one of them is already working for me. And I asked the other one about the possibility of getting their parts for my project. So yeah, I'm pretty fucking open.
Okay, so basically, you all know. You know
I-
about the
I
detective
almost had
inspector.
the most beautiful eyes.
Yes. So, like, you all know what happened to you, basically.
Okay. Okay, so I guess we can go to the dusk.
Okay. The dusk phase is dusk. There are none of you have, I think, moves that are resolved during the dusk phase.
I don't think so.
Well, the Unquiet, you can mark 2 boxes on the energy text to pull together enough ectoplasm to appear as a solid living person.
Yes, I can.
So we can
So,
hold hands with Hector.
yes, you can hold hands with Hector, and Hector can leave the house for the
I
night.
will. I will do that. I will make flesh of myself.
You've seen this before. You've seen Hector leave the mirror. I kind of, I don't want to step on anything, but I kind of imagine it like you see fully clothed Hector, like you've seen them in a mirror. But when they make a step, what steps out of the mirror is first just a skeleton that is being slowly filled up with sinew and muscles, and then the clothes appear. Like it's not just the ghost living in the mirror, it's a whole process.
I like that.
I don't think any of us is surprised by this.
No, not really.
We are used to this,
A common
probably.
This is a paint the scene part about the Hargrave house itself, and it's about many rooms of the Hargrave house. And since we've just been in the library, I'm going to ask you about this place. Of all the rooms in Hargrave house, none feel more unstacked than this one. As you enter the library, what do you see or experience that feels just a little bit off? What is off about this place? Ghost notwithstanding.
The smell. Somehow
Okay.
it doesn't smell like books in here.
How does it smell?
I would say it smells just more like mold and like, I don't know, it's just like
There's just a hint.
I would say it's a bit slimy, but I don't know how to explain it in a sense.
There's just a hint of decay.
Yes. It definitely isn't as like taken care of as it should be, or something happened there.
Willow,
And the
did you leave any
damage-
parts in the library?
Again?
Willow, did we leave any parts in the library?
And the
No.
parts.
Okay. So that's
Hector-
not our fault.
Hector can tell you that this smell has been with this place for as long as they can remember.
Yeah, so at least it's not our fault. Good.
I
true.
think something might have happened that made it smell this way, and nobody just did anything about it. Like maybe a flood or something, and the damage was
Or maybe it's not something as mundane. But okay.
yeah, might be just supernatural.
Okay.
Who knows?
I would ask for the Hargrave house scenes though for everybody to add.
I think for Hector, it's just off because he's not looking at it through a reflection anymore. So it's the right way forward, and it's just very disorienting for him sometimes.
You cannot explain this often, or like there aren't words in a living language that could explain the feeling of looking at something without having eyes.
Mhm.
And whenever you in the library, it's like more potent because knowledge is power in a very literal sense, and this library is full of knowledge. So this power is warping the space a bit more than you would normally see. So this feeling of looking at something with your own eyes is different. It's not exactly a distortion. It's like switching a track or something.
Mhm.
Willoughby or Dr. Sweindrak? What can you tell me about this place?
I'd say that even though our best efforts, the books seem to always be in a mess and not arranged properly, even though we try.
Yes.
Well, tried until we noticed that even if we do order them, organize them in a proper order, the next day they are back to being in a mess.
It's not a gradual process. It's like
No, it's
they
like
want to be among their friends.
apparently,
Okay, Willoughby.
which means looking for books is a pain.
Yeah, it's always a process. What's off about this library?
It is too quiet. I know a library is supposed to be quiet, but as soon as you step into the library, even though the entire building was quiet, the library just has this advanced quiet. Like if you're like in a room with those noise cancelling styrofoam, it's
Yeah.
just extra quiet. There is no sound. You take a step and you literally just hear the step and no echo whatsoever.
Yes. I like that. So it's a very. I like how you guys depicted the library. Okay, and also during the dusk scene, each player says what their hunter will be doing during the upcoming night phase, and you can go in pairs, but I would like each of you to have a scene of your own. So, like,
Does it have to be connected with the search, or
it might become connected to the search anyway. Like I said before, the day is your space, the night is mine. This is where the monsters come out to play.
Okay.
And this is us like skipping a role playing, you planning the night. You can each of you say what you're going to do. You can adjust it. You just don't have to role play it.
Oh, I think I will take Willoughby with me to the cemetery to try and find some new bodies.
Okay.
Maybe something useful will be there.
Yeah, perfect.
Family activities.
Yeah.
All right.
We're trying to build a family, what can I tell you?
Yes.
One
There-
cat, one
that's
cat.
version of Build-A-Bear, so
The mother, a servant, and a baby makes 3.
Yay! But for the baby, we
Listen,
still need some parts. A lot of parts.
Yep, I know. Okay, that's Dr. Sweindrak. What would Hector do?
I mean, everybody got to go to the harbor earlier during the day, and Hector had to stay home. I think Hector's just gonna probably wander close to the water with the book they found, and see what they can discover in the shadows of the night.
Okay. What will Aranea do?
I think I would like to ask some of my worshippers for like anything, like if they know anything. There's probably a lot of them, so
I'm gonna say, like, so you don't have an army of NPCs. Are you ever bidding? I'm gonna say that. I mean, you will have to roll for it, whatever
Okay.
it's going to be.
what do I roll for this?
Not yet. We are
Okay.
still in the task phase.
Okay.
Willoughby is going to go with Dr. Sweindrak, and is he going to do anything else during the night?
Just
No.
digging.
just
Okay.
digging. Digging
Well,
a
I
hole
dig that.
like a dwarf.
Come on, I'm allowed 1. Okay, guys. We're nearing 2 hours. I'm gonna say we'll do the night phase, and we'll finish for tonight. So who's going first? I think since we've ended with Hector, we're gonna start with Hector.
Okay.
So where do you go?
Hector goes to the water. This reports of fishmen. It makes the most sense to watch the water and see how close they can get to it.
So you pass the gardens, and I'm not sure if they were here when you were still alive.
Probably not.
Probably not. But well, the river, the water is still the same. there's this strange calm that can only be with us when you at night near the water. There's this strange calm that you recognize. There's a man there, an older man, kind of grizzled. He's missing an eye. He has
I wonder why.
He has a look of determination on
I
his
had
face.
nothing to do with that.
His other eye is not very pretty.
See? I wouldn't take that.
Kind of
I
like,
have standards.
like moving around the lurking is a good word. I'm gonna steal it from Wilder. He's lurking around.
Can I? Does he appear to be doing anything other than just kind of loitering?
He does seem to have a purpose. He's not muttering to himself. He's not like moving around. You have seen hunters in your days, and you can see that this man is a hunter of some sort.
Oh. Of some sort. I'm just gonna if I can, find a nearby place and watch. See what happens.
Okay. I'm gonna say that this is going to be a night move because you're like, there is a threat nearby and you're watching. And a night move works like this. When you do something risky or face something you fear, I'm gonna say that this is risky in that you're not approaching the threat. Tell me what you're afraid will happen if you fail or lose your nerve.
Hector's afraid that they will either miss out on some valuable information that this guy might not otherwise disclose if they were to approach him, or Hector is afraid of getting killed and sent back to the house.
It's worse than that. If you fail, somebody's going to get hurt. Not you. You're already dead. So I'm going to ask you to roll with... What would that be? Because it's kind of a weird move because you're not doing anything. I want to say composure. You have already a -1 to that. So that's going to be interesting because, yeah, let's say composure because you're just watching.
Composure. That's 2d6, correct?
Yes, 2d6.
That's going to be a 10 -1 for 9.
9. Okay. So that's going to be a complication. Well, it's still... Okay, so you... Okay, so you want to get some information. I'm gonna say that it's not that you doze off because you don't really sleep, not anymore, but you become a bit transfixed by the water and the stars. You don't get to see stars very often. The mirrors are just not pointed that ways. And when you look at those stars, the man kind of just appears next to you and it's like, what are you doing here?
Hector jumps at that. Not usually easily scared, but in a transfixed state. Hello, sorry. I was just watching.
Watching, huh?
Yeah,
Looking for the creature, are we?
maybe a bit.
What?
Yeah.
I've seen it, I did. I'm going to catch it.
You're going to catch the creature.
Oh, yes. I think that the Zoologist Society would pay a very nice price for a living, breathing fishman, wouldn't you say? It's going to be great.
I suppose so. You're going to do that alone?
If I do it alone, I don't have to share the money.
Right,
Do
but
I?
this creature's dangerous, mate.
Think.
You could.
Well,
you
I
could
would
get-
say old Abel Knox has some tricks up his sleeves. You see that he has sleeveless shirt.
Okay.
I'm going to catch this thing.
I'm not gonna try and stop you if you want to doom yourself that way. That's fine by me, quite frankly. It would be wise for you to do that, though, to get a friend. I'll tell you what, money's not really an object to me. I'll help you out, hey?
Okay, I'm gonna say you're gonna get a condition from that. I wanted to call it like scared for the first time, but since you for the first time in like a long time, but
Afterlife.
since you're offering help to this a bit of a crazed man, your condition is going to be called a friend of Abel Knox. You're being seen with this man right now.
I mean, only in the night.
Who's going there at night? Hector, I guess.
Hey, he made a friend.
Yes, a bit of a
And
bit
who
of a
am I
crazed
to?
friend.
And who am I to judge somebody on how crazy they are?
That's true. Also, I love when a ghost is scared. Like, this is so fun. How tables have turned, huh? For a ghost to be scared.
I don't get out much.
Okay, I'm gonna say because this isn't a clue, but you do have a friend right now. Honestly, I'm not sure if maybe he's going to be useful. I mean, there's maybe it's not a condition. It's like going to be a thing that might bring you some good stuff and bad stuff. We'll see. It might be it might be like he's going to give you an advantage or something, or a disadvantage or something else. But yeah, you get a friend, new friend.
Jolly good.
Yes,
And
Right on.
and a friend outside the house, nonetheless.
yes. Who's next? I don't know.
think me and-
Dr. Sweindrak and
I
Okay.
think me and Willoughby can go. We're at this graveyard, trying to find
Yeah.
fresh bodies.
I'm gonna say that this graveyard is somewhat close to the gardens, like not next to them because that would be a bit of a bummer for everybody who goes there. But it's a few alleyways. It's not a big graveyard. It's
Eh,
maybe
you take what
it's
you can.
something. Maybe it's something near a church. Maybe it's like a
Most
very
graveyards are.
Maybe it's like a specific denomination. Do you have any other, or maybe you have some specifics?
I think we would go to a graveyard that is most likely to have fresh people in it. So
Okay.
probably a more general one.
Honestly, I'm gonna say that when you were going to the gardens, you saw a procession going, so that's why you're there.
Okay. That
Okay.
means there is a fresh body. Let's see if it's useful. Well, usable.
Okay. Okay. So, what are your plans here?
I'm just digging.
Yep. We're finding the fresh grave, which is usually not that hard.
Okay.
And then Willoughby is doing the digging so that I can then ascertain if there are any usable parts. On that
Okay,
body.
you're playing Resurrectionists in Victorian London, so this is going to be a night move. I'm gonna say that this is from.
I believe I didn't take that move actually. I
Night move
the
is
night move.
just. The night move is just what happens when you do something during the night. Is
Okay.
a bit of a catch-all move.
Okay.
What, like I asked JT, what are you afraid will happen if you fail or lose your nerve?
At worst we will get caught.
Oh, it's much worse than that. If you get caught, there's going to be
A lot of problems, I know.
Yeah, there's going to be ice put on the Hargrave house, and you might just end up in Bedlam.
Yep.
Which
is why we are trying to be silent.
Okay. I'm wondering
And
because
while he's digging, I'm looking out if nobody's coming, and then he will be doing the lookout when I'm ascertaining the body.
Okay. Willoughby is digging, you are looking out. I'm gonna say because this is your scene, you're going to roll. And definitely with composure.
Composure, you say?
Yeah, because you're...
Good thing I have 2 in that. How many dice?
2 dice. I don't think this is an advantage thing.
7.
7. Let me remind you, we haven't narrated Mask from Hector, which I forgot about. So we'll be doing this at dawn, I think. But let me remind you that you can mark a mask. You can mark a mask from the threat or from your character sheet to bump it out to 10, to a full hit. You can stay at 7.
So that would be the Mask of the Past?
Or Mask of the Future, whichever you wish. You can mark Mask of the Past. You have to mark in order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's go with the Mask of the Past, the first one.
Okay. So, Willoughby goes to work, and there's nobody there to stop you. There's almost like you hear a sound on the wind, and maybe some people running around or going somewhere, but they don't bother you.
Good. They shouldn't. Would be unwise.
So the body is uncovered. I'm going to say that this is a young child.
Amazing. Exactly what I need. I am going to take parts from that child.
Okay, I'm going. You can take one body part from there. What do you pick?
Head.
Just the head. Okay.
Yeah.
So you take out your knife. There's a sickening crunch when you get to the spine, and you just keep going, and there's a head in your hand.
Yes. Does head mean I also have hair and eyes, since they are kind of attached?
No.
Okay.
That would be the simple.
Yeah. No worries. No worries. We'll find those in time.
All right. Is there Willoughby? Is there anything you'd like to do in this scene or after that?
No, just close the coffin, push it back in, and put dirt over it again.
You.
And while
You-
he's doing that, I'm keeping a lookout again.
Yes, while Dr. Sweindrak was focused on her grisly work, you were. It's a physical job, what you were doing. So you were more open on what was happening around, and you did hear something, maybe a song in the distance near the harbor. You're not sure. Something was there.
Okay.
And Aranea.
Yeah, I wanted to see if I can catch maybe one of my worshippers.
Okay. Tell me about. Is it like a very organized order, or is it something more loose?
I would say the part that they keep in touch with is organized, but they probably add more people on the side, and not all of them are led to be as close to me. So it's definitely like growing, but like organically. But like I said, in the usual place, there is definitely a bigger group, and they all kind of try to work close to the area where we meet.
Okay. All right. I think this is going to be an information move.
Okay.
So roll with, I guess, presence, because this is your worshippers we're talking about.
5 and 6 and 2.
Oh, this is. Normally you would find a mastermind clue, but we're not doing a mastermind here, so you're just gonna find a clue. Let me think. What were you asking for?
I think I was just trying to ask if somebody actually saw the creature and not just heard, or somebody told them, like if somebody actually saw the creature. The creature, or it was just like a person that just, I don't know, somebody, I don't know.
I mean,
some
this
some
is,
people were different.
this is a very specific thing you're asking. Like,
Okay.
the question
I can ask for...
is the creature real is something that you all decide. So actually, you know what? I think there's a clue I could. Okay. One of your worshippers, rather older gentleman, and you remember him when he was very young and very sweet, and he still wishes that he could be able to touch you just one time. He comes to you and he says that he works near Madame Toussaint's, and he says that he heard from one of the workers there that they are going to be creating a Horrors of the Sea waxwork soon. But he's not the man he heard it from is a bit of a lush and isn't always honest.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a rumor that they are creating
Okay.
because of this UX work.
So it can be both things at the same time. Okay. Can I do something for the worshipper?
He only wishes to be able to touch you.
I mean,
Let's
Can
not
I
go that far.
can I touch him? Lay my hand on his shoulder and just thank him.
I think. Would you say you've been kind to this man throughout all this time?
I think so. I think Arana tried to be kind, but basically, if somebody was wishing for too much or like trying to harm them, they just basically go into a defensive, but most of the worshippers basically can do nothing, so they treat them kind of normal.
Are you in the Hargrave house or are you somewhere else? I'm not sure if we...
I think I am near the gardens, but the other gardens, not the
Okay.
ones that we visited today.
Yeah. You are in... it's private parlor, I would say. You're just sitting, drinking something, and he tells you this information, and you decide to touch him. And he's sitting in a chair, just kind of looking out of the window. You put your hand on his cheek, maybe, and he takes it all in. He closes his eyes, sighs a bit, and he dies.
I saw that coming.
So I took a head of a child's body. I killed somebody. Everything's going great.
No, I think he was so old, he was just waiting for this, and he was like, okay, I'm out.
If that's what you wish to believe. You don't have to worry about this. Your worshippers will take care of everything.
I mean,
You leave.
I do.
Okay, so before we go to the masks stuff, I'm gonna say that, Hector, you do hear a very strange song coming from the harbor, coming from the water, and you do hear footsteps, but you hear them because your ectoplasmic body is coming like a bit undone, and you are wider somehow. You hear the song wider in a metaphorical sense. Not your dimensions do not change, but you become more dispersed through the air, to the ether. So you hear steps and the song from the other side of the gardens. And then you hear a splash.
Was that splash nearby?
No, it's totally other side of the gardens. Gardens are quite big.
Mm.
Your new friend hears nothing. You are moving through the muck of the harbor. You're moving near the water. He's like reaching out and finding some like pieces of bones, something like he's maybe it's feeding here, like he's, and you hear the sound way further. There's nothing you can do really.
Okay. I mean, even if I can't spot the creature, perhaps it left some residue behind. But
And it's something to think for the next day, because the dusk is approaching.
indeed it is.
Do you say anything to your new friend?
I turn to him, I nod to him, and let him know I must be going. See you on the morrow, and I will begin my gallivant back to the Hargrave house so that I might step back into my mirror.
Yes. And it's when you step back, it's much more of a gentle process. You do not you do not have a reflection in Hargrave House because you are the reflection, so you can just touch any mirror and come back. And this is where we will end the night scene, the night phase. And we have two masks that I want to we need to resolve. So Hector's was first, and then we have Dr. Swindrak's mask.
Did you want me to do mine first then?
Well, if you could.
Yeah. So as Hector kind of steps back into the mirror, thinking back on the sound of the splash and just the reflection of the water, Hector, it recalls a time before they were dead. A time when they had their own party of hunters that they could leave Hargrave House with and investigated many a different monster. One such monster, equally sea creature, sort of octopod, humanoid of some kind, that they had sailed off of the coast for, which took a couple of them with it, but Hector and some others had found some information to basically keep it from escaping them, as they were able to vanquish it using salt. Its skin was able to was prone to absorbing salt, and basically doing a salt circle like they do in sort of a supernatural sense, but more of a literal scientific sense. They were able to shrink it down, shrivel it up, and close the case. Easy peasy. At the expense of 2 lives, of course, but
Well, it wasn't yours at that time.
not that time.
Okay. Thank you for that. And the mother.
Yes, so with me it was when we were at the graveyard and I was keeping lookout. Well, probably happened when we discovered that the body was of a child, which kinda reminded Alice about her own child that died not that long after being born. Her
What
name
was the
would
name?
her name would be Diane if she ever lived long enough for that. Ever since Alice was trying to build a new Diane.
Thank you for that as well. We're going to be ending on this dawn phase. Just the last thing we're going to do. There's a newspaper delivered every day to the Hargrave house. Well, many newspapers, but when Willoughby comes out to collect them, you see that it's not even on the first page, because the first page is some society scandal, but you do have an information about a body that has been fished out near the gardens. Somebody has drowned there last night.
Does it say where he will be buried?
And on that, we're going to finish this one shot of the Thank you, Ladybug, for that. Hey guys, please